Shalom Chaverim, I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live. Things going on. Something that was very disturbing right here. This Russian video you're about to see, this happened in Odessa at the Eternal Flame. By the way, real quick so you can see what the Eternal Flame is here. This was a memorial that was built back many years ago, but it was built for the loss of lives of the Russian soldiers that fight to liberate the country from, or fought during the attack of the German army against the Russians that were there, and so many of them died as a result. Now, what was really strange though, and this should be a viral video, 156 views is all it's had thus far, but the neo-Nazi fascist Ukrainian police here forcibly take this woman away when she's an elderly woman too, just trying to lay flowers in remembrance of these Russian soldiers from the Black Sea Fleet that died fighting Nazism. Well, no wonder why this happened, because again, you're dealing with a government that is very much a fascist government now. And here, all these people are coming here. It's an anniversary they do this on, and they're coming to lay flowers at the Eternal Flame there for the Russian soldiers that died of the Black Sea Fleet. And here these police are dragging this old woman off. She's got her flowers in her hand, and everybody's trying to record this to make it public. This is what Petro Poroshenko's government is doing to ordinary citizens, just coming to lay flowers. I mean, are they that much hatred towards the Russian people they don't even want a flower laid in remembrance for these people being delivered from Nazi Germany? It does let you know that clearly it is a Nazi regime that is running the country, and that is a shame. It is a shame that even that President Trump would allow a support. Mike Pence telling the Petro Poroshenko that the U.S. has their back, that they are there with their full support. They should not be supporting such a neo-Nazi fascist type of government. No wonder why so many Jews had to flee the country when this overthrow of the government took place there. It was very sad indeed, but many Jews had to leave because they were dealing with Nazi fascism, and it's just not a good situation. I remember Prime Minister Netanyahu encouraging the Jewish people to leave the country because of knowing this was a fascist takeover of the nation. And as you can see, they forcibly took her away, and the people, knowing that this woman was being done wrong, do come to her aid. And I'm glad at least they're trying to come, but there's nothing they can do about it. They still took her away. Very shameful thing for the government of Poroshenko and what he is allowing to happen to people just because they're Russian descent, or it's a shame. It really is a shame. All over the world, always seems to be a tense situation in the world today. Never seems to be a dull moment at all. German army is starting to move equipment towards the Baltics. This is on Lorenzo's channel. Already happened. Lorenzo always bringing out some very incredible information on his channel here. Of course, that was on February the 21st. Also, he is showing the U.S. coalition is killing more civilians than Russians are. In the latest article out by the Telegraph. And then we also have here, just to kind of share with you, this here is the Russian S-400. Today, the Russian Air Forces there were able to shoot off up to 12 of these missiles here in war games that they are practicing over there. And again, like our title of the article the other day, Russia is definitely not playing war games. Russia is being very serious about preparing and showing their strength to NATO, that they are a force to be reckoned with. And these S-400s are supersonic missiles, and according to Russian officials, these are missiles that are not able to be intercepted by any defense system that there is in the world today. Of course, that still remains to be seen. They're definitely, as you can see from their launching, they're a very rapid moving missile, moving at supersonic speeds, according to Russian information about these missiles. And they do move very, very rapidly, no doubt. Another interesting thing here that Lorenzo brought out, and I wanted to share this with you guys as well. This is, we see here from the pictures here that Lorenzo has shared on his page here, more military equipment arriving in Hungary this time here. We can see their train rail cars. We got tanks, armored personnel carriers, and other types of vehicles that have been brought in being assembled, getting them ready for more of NATO forces in other parts of the region. Those of you that know that Hungary also borders Ukraine, so it seems to be that there is a lot of expectation that Ukraine could be the place that starts it all. Moving into other news as well, looking at Russian news here, the RIA.ru says Belarus spoke about hysteria around the exercises of POD 2017 from Russia. There is actually some people spreading the news that Russia is planning on taking over Belarus, that they're actually going to become an occupying force there. Whether or not that's being started by Western media or not, I can't actually say. But anyway, there is, again, another monstrosity of an exercise that'll be beginning here in the next month or so. 2017 Zapad, which means West exercise there. And it has a lot of people very nervous, especially in Europe, because last year there was 120,000 Russian troops that entered into Belarus for this exercise. At the same time, we know that NATO will be planning their own exercises there in and around Belarus, so it'll be a very tense situation. And the bad thing is when you get things like this, anything could go wrong and could spiral out of control. Let's hope that that does not happen. Russia's also, according to their function on their military channel there, Russian Defense Ministry's website is practicing today electronic warfare. The division of the BBO stationed in Buryatia began preparations for large-scale tactical exercise, and this is for electronic warfare. You can see the photo there on your screen and behind me there, they set that up. And then another very odd thing that Russia is doing, and I saw this the other day and didn't say anything about it, but I figured I'd mention it today. TV Zvezda.ru is speaking about Russia's new World War Games that are happening in Sochi. Sochi is there on the the Black Sea. And I just thought it was kind of interesting that Russia is actually doing World War Games. I mean, there are 23 nations are participating in this military style Olympic type games. This is, of course, Sochi is where the Winter Olympics were held at one time a few years back. And Russia now using this facility for military winter type Olympic games. They are involved in skiing, they're involved in ice skating, all types of things, but it's military troops that are involved in these activities here. And according to the article here, 23 nations are participating in this. There are 44 sets of military awards and 7 sports that can be gained during that. Don't really know what all that's about, but just the very fact they call it World War Games. It's almost as if Russia is not only playing war games, but they're getting very serious about dealing with any confrontation that could happen in the near future with NATO. So let's just pray that this does not happen. The police are in Italy are fixing to do a mass arrest for a migrant robbing rampage. 50 asylum seekers are to be arrested in Italy. According to the article here on Westmonster.com, says while the politically correct establishment do their best to convince themselves that all who are coming to Europe are great people with sweet intentions, the evidence continues to paint a very different picture. According to Italian media, a group of 50 migrants were on a robbing rampage aboard a ferry from Cagliari, to Naples overnight in what constitutes nothing less than an organized criminal activity. Police are set to arrest the 50 asylum seekers who caused the mayhem. Yet again, ordinary citizens of Europe are paying the price for an open-door policy, whilst the authorities are stretched, having to deal with some of the very bad people that governments have allowed to stroll into Europe without scrutiny. It's very concerning there, and I think he does give us the link right here. It did come up on ANSA. Latest news here, migrants rob ferry passengers. So yes, all the ferry passengers, a mob of 50 of them there, robbing the individual passengers on there. This was on February the 21st. Around 50 migrants robbed passengers on a ferry from Calgary to Naples overnight, sources said Tuesday. Police were awaiting them when they arrived in the southern Italian port, the source said. We'll see if maybe we can find out something about that and how that goes. Sputnik News is reporting something very interesting here. Girl power. Woman may become Russia's next president. High-ranking government official has revealed that the next president of Russia may actually be